Right, welcome back everyone, as we are just waiting for the last few stragglers to join us for our Victoria 3 games, Laz and Daft. I think we're just waiting for Laz to join.
Yeah, I'm having this problem as well.
Why is everything on 100%?
Imaflanker. I'm mimicking what they're hearing right now because they can't hear us because their music's too loud.
Seems like a new problem.
All right, Mr. Not so much of a noob anymore.
Where to play? That's a very good question.
I assume I'm joining.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. That's loading quite quickly.
Yep.
This game so far has been fairly Eurocentric. We did have one person before play two Sicilies, and they did so well that the Italian unification, the Pope annexed them when they weren't here. So,
Okay.
so if you want a strong Italy, you could play the Pope. He even started colonies as the two Sicilies that the Pope still technically has. They just don't have the tech to continue them.
Right. I'll have a look at the map when I load in.
Yeah.
I'm glad that my standard of living isn't reflected in Flanker's power. That being impoverished. Right. Loady. Right.
How was the experience with non-European powers in this game? Say if I wanted to play Japan, for example. Are there still interesting things to do? Or
Japan is one of those actually a really good noob nation because it has absolutely everything you need, a massive population, and next to no industry to start with, so that way you can actually build up from the top.
That sounds pretty good, actually. The only downside is I'm a bit isolated from everyone else, but I'm just kind of here to learn the game, I suppose. So
I mean,
I'll go for it.
You'll be joining in where they've had like 20 years to do something, but yeah.
I think I would like to start as Mexico. Could it be Mexico? Is that good? Bad? There not any wars.
It really depends on America, because America's already beat up Mexico a few times, like they usually do. Unless you're a player who plays them from the start. Mexico still has part of Colorado. So
I see that, yeah.
The United States is going to want to punch Mexico again. And sometimes when the AI America punches for one state, they'll start to demand Mexican territories. So
Okay, you convinced me. Oh, what about Chile?
What about Netherlands? So you start next to Flanker.
Right, Chile it is then.
No.
Yeah, Chile or Argentina have some colonization down there that no one else can actually lay claim to because of the way the game works. So yeah, you're relatively small. You're in your own market, not in anyone else's market, so your country may not be the most stable, but there is gold down there.
The best tip for new players is if you click on one of your territories, go onto the buildings tab. At the bottom, you'll see peasants and unemployed. Your first thing you want to do is like build stuff to get those down to zero, so everyone's working.
Which tab? Sorry.
Click any province of yours, then click buildings.
Buildings.
And then right down at the bottom of that tab, you don't have to scroll down, it's just at the bottom. You'll see like job seekers, peasants, and unemployed. You want to get them to 0.
Aha! I've got mine unemployment to 0 already. I'm guessing I'm doing really well so far.
Yeah, you do still have peasants, so those are basically subsistence peasants working the farmland. And they don't have any other job. As you build industry, they'll probably move from the subsistence farming to the industry.
Okay, right. So you need to sort of balance farming and stuff.
You don't need
Yes,
any
but not in that
subsistence
way.
peasants. Subsistence peasants are basically...
They're only slightly better than unemployed people.
Yeah, they're basically like medieval peasantry just toiling the land away. What you want to do is build industry for them to work in and industrial tier farmlands, because like a single wheat farm employs 4,500 people, for example.
Has everyone selected their nation?
Yes.
Yes.
Might as well get underway then.
Please tell me this is going at a slow speed because I ain't got.
Yeah, it's going at.
Right, this is a gold mine. I've got gold mines. They're
Yeah.
going. Okay.
So you're probably making a crap load of money from those. That weekly balance 2K.
I've got 52.1 pounds. Doesn't break it down very well. My gold reserves are like 491k.
Ah.
Right,
So-
so apparently iron is expensive military goods. I want some iron mines, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And there's a tab on the left side that is market. You could click on that to see what's expensive and what's cheap in your market. And there's a filter for that for like staple goods, industrial goods, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's saying something about grain is expensive as well. So technically, I'll probably want to get some more grain mines. Is
Yeah.
what I'm understanding.
And staple goods are one of those things that you're always going to make more of forever. Why is Brazil in the Russian market? Okay.
Not heard of bricks.
Victoria 3 is just ahead of its time.
Go ahead, Les.
So at the top you've got urban centre, and it's just like in Santiago I've got trade centre, tooling workshop. So I've got 14 valid targets in there. So what would you recommend? Because obviously, like, because obviously, so I'm guessing the expensive military goods is something that I should build myself, ideally.
Not really, because you won't have much demand for them.
Yeah, military goods are strange in that you're not going to have much demand for them until you do.
So,
like, you have your standing army that has like just enough to keep the armory set. But
Best
then
thing
they're
to
going
say
to
about
use a
army is
lot
just don't worry about it for now. Focus on the basics.
Yeah. Also,
Hey, who are you playing, lads?
Chile.
So, a good place to start is if you go on the left-hand side, find the market tab.
Market, that one. Yep.
And then click on the market price.
Yep.
Column and sort them by most expensive.
Fruit apparently. 75% markup on it.
What we want to do is look at like most basic goods, so grain, clothes, whatever's highest up the list, but it's a basic good. So furniture's another one.
Yeah,
might be
grain.
there.
Grain is
Right.
like the 7th one down.
Okay, so we want to get grain to about 0%.
Right,
So
you
it's
said
like
Man of
average
Wars
price.
wouldn't be of interest to me. Apparently they are. They're 102 pounds
Yeah, but-
each.
That's because you need like one and you're making none. It's irrelevant. Don't worry about it.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So the grain, you want to find one of your places that can do grain,
Yeah,
and
and then just build a couple.
I'd build one at a time, especially for such a small nation.
15 weeks. Oh, I need iron. Right, so should I import iron then?
What do you mean you need iron? Why?
Well, at the top it just came in, input goods shortage in the Chilean market. There are 5 buildings affected by this sort of shortage.
What building does it say?
Just says 5 buildings.
Yeah, it's called
tooling, barracks, construction sector, barracks,
Right.
tooling's
So,
workshops.
okay then, in that case you want to find a, can you build an iron mine anywhere?
Yes.
Right, go build one of those first.
That's where they're building the grain.
Yeah, you can queue up multiple buildings in the same area.
Right.
And then you can
do iron
move the
mines.
queue around to build the iron mine first.
Is that under production or something? Buildings.
Top right corner.
Top right corner. That
You see
narrowed
it?
it down to nothing. No.
Literally the very top right corner. There's a picture of like some bricks and whatnot, and a trowel. Click it.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So pop that up one. Yeah. Okay. 30 weeks. Oh, 30 weeks. I'm losing money now because of this.
Yeah,
Why is
because you started a construction. Your construction sector that you have in your capital is buying resources from your market to construct with. That's why you suddenly had that iron shortage. But
Fair
once you
enough.
build that iron, you'll actually be spending less money because the iron that the government is buying to construct with will be cheaper.
Apparently, there's a Chilean colony being made in Chilean Argacara.
Oh right, I'm at war, aren't I?
So, how do I? Is that part of me now?
Colonies go automatically.
Really? So I
Yeah.
don't have to do it. Just being next to it is enough.
Well, when you start a colony, it starts taking a region tile by tile. So since it's already started, you don't have to do anything.
Okay. What about What about Machapucci? So how would I start one in there? Just to annoy the Argentine Confederation. I'm just asking. I honestly don't know how.
The way I use it is the diplomatic lens on the bottom. As soon as you open that, there should be an established colony button. And you'll see that covers the whole area of Patagonia, which has the Mapuche in it.
I don't see corporate state, change capital. I don't see anything about. You said
there's-
political lens, right?
Diplomatic lens.
Right. Established colony.
And you can
It looks like Argentine is doing that themselves.
Yeah, they're colonizing the north. They're not colonizing Patagonia yet, but they will eventually. And the more colonies you have going at any one time, the longer they take. Yours is already taking like a year per tile. So.
Mine's 206 days. Apparently I've got 2 colonies. Patagonia and Aconcagua.
You can start one in Patagonia. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. It's just like, yeah, you can pick this. You can... Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's like 500 days. Okay.
Yeah, it increases the amount total. So now both of yours are taking 500 days each, whereas before the one was taking like 250. There is ways to make that shorter, but that is
So
political aspect that you haven't even looked at yet. So I'm not gonna,
the establishment of this colony that's going on, it's got 193 days, and then left of that there's a little exclamation point in red.
that means that there is a risk for the natives to rise up and try and fight you.
It
Don't
just
worry
says the
about-
tension levels between us and Tetraliche is volatile, 99.
Yeah, so there's a chance that they'll rise up to try and fight you for their land. Don't worry about it because you'll probably kill them when they do.
Okay.
Unless you're a entirely disarmed nation, which it doesn't look like you are. You have a reasonably sized army to start with.
Mm-hmm. Two more things there, so... This is journal about age of the crocodiles.
Oh yeah, all of the stuff are there for South America.
Apparently, will fail if armed forces are part of the government. Okay.
Yeah, that's more political.
The whaling industry. Apparently, the AI decided to send out an expedition to find the source of the Nile.
Mm.
I'm sure that'll go well.
They're just in denial.
And how goes glorious Japan? Slowly figuring
well-
out what the AI did.
Similar to us, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, but I was listening to a conversation and taking some ideas on board. So I'm building some industries which seem like they'll be producing things which are relatively valuable on the market.
Yes.
Hoping for the best. I can see that I'm spending money on construction goods. Not a huge amount though.
There is
Yeah.
one thing I would ask to both of you. Do you know how to construct, like when you go to a territory, if you scroll through the buildings down to development, are you able to construct a railway? Is the button for that highlighted yet?
No, I think it's because I
No.
don't have the technology, which I did see on the tech tree, and I thought, oh, that's a useful thing to get.
Russia is trying to improve relations with me. That's very kind. Their attitude towards me is protective. Cannot build railway in Santiago. Conditions prevent this action. Chile has invented railways. Can't I just steal it from the British? Railways, there it is.
Yeah, railways are going to be important as the game goes on, considering looking at Chile, it doesn't know what infrastructure is.
Excuse you, we've got modern sewage.
Unfortunately, you cannot transport large amounts of goods through the sewers unless you're really
Look,
clever.
I've watched enough of Flanker streams. I know what the internet produces, thanks. But yeah, no. Apparently, Chile was really interested in modern sewage.
I mean, that is a thing for infrastructure.
It
that does
looks
help,
like
but-
the aim was to get to steel frame buildings, which is for the construction centres. Which brings me back to the question I was going to ask: is it possible to build more buildings contiguously if I have more construction centres? And would it
Yes.
benefit if I have more construction centres in other districts? Or
Yes and yes. First of all, more construction sectors means more construction, but you have to buy more construction goods from the market. So if you have a lot of iron, if iron's cheap, if wood's cheap, fabric's cheap, you can use those for construction. Will cost you money though. And
Apparently I
there
just unlocked
is
fishing caps.
there is the aspect of local good prices, which I'm not going to cover in detail because it's basically you make iron in this place, making steel in that place is cheaper than transporting the iron to another territory over. I don't
Right.
know how the game calculates it, but I do know it's a factor.
Right. So the light bulb for me is in societies. So I'm guessing you can only research one technology at a time.
Yes.
Right.
But you
Okay.
can research from any 3 of the types.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll queue up, as you say. I want to get railways, so I need mechanical tools. That's gonna take 3 years to research. So shift click, is it?
Yes, to queue up. And I will know every tier of research, if you look through the research tree, has a 1, a 2, a 3 in Roman numerals. It is
Yeah.
significantly longer to research something in a tier ahead if you haven't researched everything in that tier already.
What, across the board, or just like in production?
In production.
Okay.
So like if you haven't researched every tier 2 tech and you try and research, say, the rotary valve, it's gonna take like 8 years.
Right. So, if, for instance, I can research reinforced concrete. It says it'll take 14 years to research.
Yeah.
But if I completed everything in tier 2, so that like the water tube boiler, railways, baking powder, blah blah blah.
It'll probably take like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's
Like if you really wanted to try and super focus on one, you could, but obviously it's cost.
yeah.
Daff, do you have any questions?
I mean, yes, but I'm just going to play around and try to figure things out. If I have any specific questions, I'll definitely ask.
I can guarantee you now that Chile's going to be worse off with me in rule than the AI.
Look, if you research railways and construct there, they're already going to be better off.
Well, that would involve us actually paying for a few years. But apparently I've only got one construction centre total in the whole of Chile. The
If it makes
construction
you
wasn't
feel
on
better, I am, as Portugal, who has been here since the start of the game, I'm still only on 2. I think I could actually build 3 now. Small nations have very small construction.
Oh, look, this is perfect for me because it gives me a chance to ask you questions about really niche things that you guys will probably go, I already know all about that and stuff, so... I'm just looking forward to this new colony that's going to be finished in 70 days.
It's going to finish that whole tile, and then it's going to go continue elsewhere.
Apparently there's tension levels? Oh, right, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my flag.
Also for
That's not my flag. Whose flag's that?
flag of the natives.
There's 2 flags.
And both of the natives are part of Patagonia, so I really don't know. As for our market, I am progressively building sugar plantations, so that way we do not need to import sugar. In fact,
Sounds
you
good.
could probably, well, I'll subsidize it to force it into markets. That way, it boots out the ones that are being imported first.
So is gold in this game like an exportable resource, or is it one of those things
No,
that it's just beneficial for me?
It's just beneficial for you because that's more money for you.
Okay, right, because the 2 obviously taking over Teletochi is going to prevent Argentina from coming south. So, like the 2 states below me, all the way down to Selkinam, they've all got gold in them. From just like
so
clicking
more
on
gold for you is the better.
them. Okay, no, that's fine. And this looks South Atlantic Islands. So this is. Oh, it's Great Britain.
Yeah, it's Falklands.
Falklands. Yeah, I was going to say. So I thought that was the Falklands.
fact, technically, you could make another gold mine in Santiago, and
Yeah.
oh,
I've got things building at the moment.
I have another recommendation.
Look, I can't build railways yet.
No, this covers into something else that's important. Hint, hint, Daft. There is production methods for building. So if you click on your iron mine in Santiago,
Yeah.
you'll see the crossed pick and shovel.
The what? Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
If you click on that, that'll open the production method type.
Yeah, so atmospheric engine pump.
Yes, that will make a lot more iron, but it requires coal.
And I haven't got any coal mines.
So you can build a coal mine, and then you'll get more iron per iron mine because of the coal mine.
But I need to get coal, I need to build it first.
Yeah. You see the problem. But
I've got look, if it's a bit like Anno, isn't it? You've got a production chain, you need to filter in everything what you need, etc., etc. Right.
The reason why I said that is because you can put atmospheric engine pumps on gold mines as well, which vastly increases the amount of money that you need.
Well, I'm currently tanking my reserves.
That's
Good
okay.
grief.
This game properly simulates debt spending. Like, the amount of debt you can go into is actually factored by the size of your economy. So if you just size your economy faster than you go into debt, your total debt's actually smaller.
So my standard of living is below minimum expected. How do I change that? The amount of work in Santiago. Okay, that's not a problem. I've got granary fields being built, so that should go away.
Yeah, it's mostly that grain's expensive and the that fact that there's so subsistence peasants. I say that, don't worry about that on your end, Daft, because I know that a single one of your territories has like 1.5 million peasants.
Yeah, many peasants.
I think Daft will be by far the most popular out of all of us.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't he have something like 10-20 million?
Yeah, Daft has 33 million population. Tells you
So,
top.
Intelligenza Avantgarde deactivated. So this is due to their approval of neutral +2. The effects of no longer being provided.
Do you want
It's
to
10%?
they don't like.
Do you want a new screen to study while you build things?
Sure, why not?
Click on the politics button on the top left. In the bar on the left side.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
I'll let you study that and answer any questions.
Yeah, politics does play quite a part in this.
Where's my intelligence? Oh, there. A lot of them are in. Okay.
Laz is choking on the attempt to learn.
Just choking on
So
nothing.
much
That's
knowledge.
Contested government.
Contested's actually okay.
It's due to high income tax. -5 is due to income tax. Government ideology penalty. Size of government. Apparently, landowning is a major part, but the largest loyalist / radicals is the armed forces.
Yeah, because of the Age of Caudillos thing that goes across all of South America.
Oh, I mean, if the armed forces are going to keep me in power, I ain't got a problem. I'm well liked, apparently. Yeah.
Don't worry, that'll change once they get to know you.
Well, I mean, I can't be any worse than Flanker. He seems oddly quiet.
He gets so like into the game, he just goes silent. He's focusing so much.
As you can tell if you look at his mouse cursor not moving.
Yep. It's moving so fast, Twitch can't register it.
Oh, we've got no social security in Chile. That's nice.
Oh
Does
yeah,
look
you
like
could look at
Belgium's
all
still
of
a
your,
bit fine. Sorry.
look at all of your laws and see all the fun.
Oh wow, yeah, Flanker's got a revolution brewing.
No home affairs.
Yep,
What's this
I'm
home
trying to
affairs?
replace religious schools.
Yeah, but Flanker, if you do want to stop the revolution at any time, you can probably just cancel the law. It usually goes away.
I will note the revolution won't actually pop until the very high is over 100. Like, because it says
I didn't
62
know that.
very yeah, because it says 62 very high, the progress will only go to 62, but every one of those events will have a chance to increase the radicalization up towards 100.
Right, I've got a question. So, looking at the laws, I've noticed that I've got no home affairs. So
That's
terrible. From what I understand, it is a bad idea. So, right, if I switch to National Guard, which is the option I can only take because the other one's greyed out. So 39%. Oh, Holland joined.
Holland randomly appeared.
So it's dropped down by like 2.2%. Right. So if I enact it, I've got 38% chance to progress. So if I do that, but the thing is, like 54% are indifferent. So it's just a case of getting people to switch over and go, oh yeah, no, this is a good idea. The intelligista people oppose this change, but everyone else is like really happy about the idea.
How much do the intelligentsia oppose it? Minus to what?
-5, and they go from 2 to -3.
As long as you don't get any of them to -10, it's fine. It's basically a factor of like all of your population. So like the gray out is just they don't care. So when you start it, the 35% chance you said,
39.
it has a 39% chance to make a positive progress toward law passing.
Okay,
You'll see
right.
how that works once you start it.
So in about 100 days, I'll find out. That's what it said. Like in 100 days. By the 9th of December, I'll find out.
It can take many years to pass a law if you're unlucky.
On the other hand, sometimes you have a 10% chance and you get 3 good rolls in a row and then you're done in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Or you can get bad rolls and that no one will want to pass the law ever.
And somehow end up causing a revolution in the process.
But that wouldn't happen to you, lads.
No, I'm too good at this game, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm already running a deficit, so why not more?
Debt spending is how you work in this game, which is why Flanker is at full money.
Well, I'm going to build the iron mine. I'm going to cap up my gold income, and then I'm building 2 construction sectors, and then I'm going to go from there, I guess.
And get the coal.
Yep, that'll be on the bottom of the list to do.
I have a question. So I've queued up a whole load of buildings to be built, but it looks like either nothing's happening or things are happening incredibly slowly.
It's probably slowly. Daft and Blast, if you want to throw streams up in Twitch, it would be a lot easier. Not in Twitch, Discord.
No, I'll set up Twitch.
you?
Hang on. You know that update requires restart. Pew pew.
And to help both Daft and Laz,
I
on the left.
can't stream if Daft is.
Oh, okay.
So
Really?
it's okay. Daft probably. I'll listen to what happens with Daft and.
Well, I'll stop in a moment. I just wanted to ask about the whole building situation.
Yeah.
So
It looks like if you click on your building thing in the top right, Daft, the little wall and trowel.
wall and trowel. This thing.
Very top right, yep, that's the one. So, oh wow, you have got quite a lot going. But yeah,
Ah, right, yeah, okay. I see.
so it only does one at a time. and it looks like you've got a good amount going to it though. If you click show private construction there in the middle, yep, that's what the AI is building, those two little things.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
they're
one that I
taking a
saw,
quarter of your construction capacity.
Okay.
But basically, yeah,
I,
you're sharing it with the AI, and it's just going to be slow in general.
For some reason, my sorry.
Sorry, Elias, can I just finish this?
Yeah,
before I
no,
start
carry
speaking?
on.
Should I bump up the construction sector? At least one
Yeah,
of them?
but don't just do the construction sectors, because they're all going to need to buy things like iron and wood.
Yeah.
So you want to
maybe
do like
one.
construction, logging
I
camp
mean,
construction.
That said, you do appear
I've
to
got
have
loads of
full,
money.
full money, so you should be perfectly fine having a few of those go up.
Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't. Okay, so it's still.
And it looks like
Do like shift click on them, daft, to put it straight to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, so I would just put it up one, right? Okay.
Like in Solaris, sorry. Oh, it's alt click, sorry, not shift.
Okay.
Right,
And it
sorry. Can I ask my question quick, or is it?
Yes.
Right, so that colony that I had, which was nearly finished, didn't proc. Is there a chance of it just not working?
No, it did. Like I said, it took the single tile.
Yeah, it's really tiny, lads. Like, some of them are really tiny.
Yeah, if you
It's not an
scroll,
entire state you take.
If you scroll in, you can see that it's taking individual portions of a state over time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? But it looks like. Oh, okay. Right, so you have to constantly do it. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
it'll
That's
colonize
what I
it.
needed to know. That's fair. Okay.
And for you, Daft, it looks like the like light brown saw up there next to where it says construction sector on top. That is the construction method, and it looks like you're on the lowest level, if that's what that one is. If you click on it, yeah, you'll see that you can shift it to iron frame buildings, which requires more resources, but it will
yeah,
construct.
it's already speeded up by like 50%. That's cool.
But as a result, it gave you an iron and tool shortage.
Yeah, I think that's just costing me money, right?
No. If you look in the top right at the wall and the trowel again, you've got 21 out of 29. You're losing 8 construction capacity because you haven't got the materials for it.
Okay.
But
Well, how do
you
I,
might be able to trade. I'm not sure if Japan can even trade at the start.
Yeah,
I think they're an
there's
isolationist country at the start.
Yeah, I was looking at my laws and I saw it was isolationist with no option to change it.
Yeah.
So,
'cause no one in
if
your
you go
close borders
to
change it.
Oh no,
Kind of
you have
Wild Holland.
protectionism. Trade policy is protectionism, so you should be able to trade.
But you can, that production method thing you just did with your construction, you might be able to do that with like your iron mines or your logging camps, for example. Pretty much every building has that option.
And the easiest way to do that for you as well, Les, on the left side, there's the little factory that is your buildings tab. That will show you all of the buildings you have across your country, and you can mass edit their production methods from there.
Okay.
But it can be beneficial to do it state by state, because if you change, for example, all your logging camps to pure hardwood production, you might suddenly end up with a lack of softwood, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I've got this thing that it says kindly burn this letter. So this is the Liberal Party should stand with blah and deny everything.
Oh, you're having an election, so.
I'll let you stream, Liza.
So this person gets tarred by scandalous letters for 2 years. So it's just him, not myself, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See you later, mate. Look, I'm protecting myself. I've got to protect the party. That's how things work, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by enacting of National Guard successfully progressed to the study phase of the law enactment.
Yeah, so there's 3 phases that they have to go through in order to pass through. And if they get 3 setbacks, then it's just thrown into the bin.
That sounds like a waste of paper, but sure, okay.
Nah, why would you do something like spend $100,000 to like try and find out, design a new flag for your country, and it's just the same flag with an extra stripe on it?
Sounds like Germany. Oh yeah, you know what I need? 3 colours in my light on my flag. So can I pass multiple laws at a time?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Have you ever seen a government in action? They struggle to pass one law at a time.
Oh, I know.
I have a question, sorry. So I've gone to import iron from market. I'm setting up a route. Well, should I start streaming again? Sorry. I'm curious as to. It seems like I can make money by importing goods. I don't quite understand.
Tariffs.
Yeah. If you import from me, Daft, then I benefit as well.
So the Swedish market is actually up at the top here. You're Sweden, is that right?
I am indeed.
So if I click this, import iron from the Swedish market, I'll see what happens.
You know, if you look, it tells you there that the tooltip tends to not be 100% accurate, but it's pretty close.
Market estimates.
So,
So you can see like the price of your iron go down quite nicely.
So what's the figures on for market imports? So I'm looking at iron because I've got a lot of things being built, obviously. So like the Russian market for me is all the way at the top. It says level 1, amount 5, boats 8, productivity minus 1.23. Is that good or bad?
That's bad.
So the Argentinian market is 2.78, which is better.
Yeah, honestly, don't fall for the productivity trap. You tend to want to trade because you either want to increase your availability or drive some demand in your own market. So I tend to look at the amount rather than the productivity, because I don't mind losing money if, for example, it's going to allow me to sell a ton of iron and drive up the price.
Yeah, for example, I am actually pushing other people out of our market, the Swedish market, by making really cheap sugar. I'm subsidizing the the sugar plantations. And it barely is taking me anything because sugar is so needed. But the price of domestically produced sugar in our market is so good, it's actually pushing out the import trades that we have.
Okay, so obviously you told me if I click on a building I can change its production methods. So obviously manual drilling is like terribly slow and blah blah blah. So if I use upgraded to nitroglycerin, obviously there's a cost to that. So I've got explosives. I would require explosives for that.
Yeah.
So if I did that, I've got a load of unscaled modifiers, but general total modifiers is +10 pollution. So how do I figure out?
Pollution.
Okay, right, fair enough. So how do I figure out how much I'm going to make? So it says good production, 21.1 more total, 66.7 gold to 78.4 silver, or is?
Oh, the gold and the silver is just an average. Like if it shows you silver, it means that's around the average price. If it's gold, it means it's overpriced, and if it's bronze, it means it's underpriced.
All right. So if I do this, I'm going to sort of break even.
Yeah, well, you'll bring the price of that good down to around its average.
Right. But obviously, if I switch to atmospheric engine pump, I just need coal for that, which I haven't even got a coal mine yet.
Also worth keeping an eye on stream chat for fire responses as well, because they are quite skilled at this.
Yeah, fire will be able to probably just say it in a few words, and yeah.
Whereas We like to
But
ramble.
I can't see stupid chat because of stupid VPN. And stupid me who forgot to disable it.
Is there a limit to the number of diplomatic actions you can do at once? I presume there would be.
Yeah, you're
Limited
limited
by
by
your
the influence thing.
which is up on top.
Influence, where is that, sorry?
Up
Influence?
on
The
top,
dove
it's
on the top.
represented by the
Ah,
little
right,
dove.
okay, yeah. The balance by making 1,000. Okay.
You
And
can
then
Alright,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
Who would do that?
you can have a larger amount of influence by rivaling people if you really, really wanted to, but
Aha, right. Like in
The-
Stellaris and whatnot.
yeah, the only reason you want a huge amount of influence in this game is if you're being very aggressive and trying to make a puppet world, like Britain would, historically.
I've found influence to just mostly be useless though, and you only need it for specific things. And as a general rule, the same action costs more to do with a larger nation. So if you're just
Yeah.
dealing with a bunch of minors, then it's cheap to do.
Okay, the Conservative Party's anti-alcohol policy is hurting their electoral prospects, and scores of thirsty voters flock to the Liberal Party. No beer, no vote, plus 30 momentum, or run a smear campaign, which would be better because I get 10% momentum, they lose it.
It really depends on what you're trying to do with your government.
I'm
Which
saying
means
Liberal,
it's like
30%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
like certain just to do a loose covering of this, certain interest groups want to pass certain laws, but the laws they want to pass are also largely dependent on the leaders they have at the time, which the leaders will die off and have different ideologies. Obviously, only certain ideologies will go to certain interest groups, but for example, you physically can't pass multiculturalism regardless of who's in power because it's not really a concept yet.
I'm going on a limb here. I've just noticed like the election thing, you can mouse over it. Conservative Party's got 70% of the votes, and the Liberal Party's got 29.1.
Yes.
Don't think I'm
So,
going to be liberal for much longer. Oh, of course.
I accidentally pressed the space bar and it made some kind of weird noise.
Uh-huh.
Oh, was it pausing? God damn it. Sorry. Sorry, I hope this doesn't desync us now.
Nah, pause.
Man, the AI sure made a mess of things with the Netherlands, and I'm about to
How can
possibly
you
make
tell?
it worse.
You're very loud.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah, your mic's picking up your breathing as well.
Right. Just fiddle with settings.
I mean, it's nice to know that you are at least still breathing, Holland, but
But if you could stop, that'd be great.
Wow.
Why does... Yeah, Conservative Party won, unsurprisingly, with 70% of the vote. Yeah,
I can hear you.
so I'm still in the contested. How do I know what my political spectrum is now?
When you go to your government section, like the government tab, where you see all of the different people in your group, in your government and out of the government, there should be a reform government button on the bottom, which you should be able to do for free since you just had a election. Otherwise, it causes radicalization when you do that.
Well, there's no point in me getting rid of the people I've got because the landowners are happy, the armed forces are loyal, the petty bourgeoisie is loyal. Only industrialists would be happy if I put them in because they're loyal, but they're plutocratic.
Yeah, and it the people in government effectively depend on what laws you can pass. If I said that right, I think I said it backwards.
Well, I would like to switch, I would like to get rid of the landowners. Oh, modern sewage is done. Nice.
So,
Because mainly I want to get rid of the patriarchal. I would like to pass the women's suffrage and free speech.
Yeah.
Sound like a
Let's see what
hippie.
you actually
I'm
have.
liberal. So does that
Um,
free? Oh, I've got 5 months on that. Okay. I've lost Chile.
The easiest way to do that is to change your voting laws over time. You currently have landed voting, which is why there's so much political strength in the landowners. So
Yeah.
once you pass National Guard, you'll probably want to see if you can start shifting to different voting types.
Well,
And
if I can get
potentially,
National Guard, it's at 49%.
yeah, if you can. And potentially shifting off of tenant farmers to homesteading, because tenant farmers gives landowners more political strength.
Yeah, the landowners, if like you look at their political power, it almost all comes from the laws they've got, which unsurprisingly favour them. So even though they're a tiny portion of the population, they get a massive amount of power through all the laws. So as you change off them, they quickly become weaker, and you can actually start doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Also, local police force gives landowners political strength. If you shift it to dedicated, it doesn't.
Right. So looking at my radicals, I've got 72.5k out of 1.09 million. So that's nearly like 10% of my population. So
Show
what
off.
happens- What, that I could do basic maths, or is it because it's too so
that
low?
flanker has almost 1 million radicals in a nation of 4.5 million people.
So 25% of his public are really unhappy with him. Nice. Right. So how do I keep that down? Because obviously it tells me basic
Shoot
stuff
the
like-
priests.
Oh, I shoot the priests. Okay.
The biggest thing is in keeping the standard of living going up and preventing it from going down.
How do I get standard of living going up? Is that just having the basics of like food income, or is it the case?
Having at your current standard of living, just filling up the staple goods.
Okay, right. So do I have a certain amount of buildings I can build? Like, I know it says like sulfur mines, 1 of 36. So does that mean I can build 36 sulfur mines, or does that mean I can only build 36 buildings in total, or?
That's 36 sulfur mines. It's distinctly different for agriculture because all agriculture buildings share the total arable land.
Right, so I can only build like 44 buildings, size 44, so that means I've got 44 unused arable land.
Yes.
So that means I can build up to 44 of these things. So like, okay,
and
right.
Actual industries like tooling workshops, paper mills, you can just stack that infinitely.
Right, okay. So, but the thing is, like, so agriculture, you're saying it's literally that it's just a 44 building slots fixed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there is 44 more available slots for any kind of agriculture.
It's just that it says maximum level is 46, but due to available arable land is Santiago is 44. Right, so it's 2
Yes.
of 46. That means 2 of these slots have been dedicated to. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Discord within the industrialist. Hello, what's this?
Oh, and by the way, trade routes take up bureaucracy, and if you go into the negatives of that, your tax income rapidly drops off.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring up bureaucracy until Laz potentially went into negative bureaucracy from passing National Guard.
Yeah, I thought it might be worth mentioning before they go negative though, because
Nah, he already has enough to learn. I mean, I'm already smelling the smoke of his brain working so hard, or maybe that's just Flanker cities.
But then there's also Daft, who's just beavering away in the background.
I've got National Guard to 63% success chance now.
It's basically a matter of time once you get it above 50. You
Who
do
took
have to be
Torah?
pretty unlucky to fail at that point.
Like
Well,
the
it keeps
inter-
going
Hi,
down
I'm unlucky.
every so often. How's that revolution going, Flanker?
Flanker
Well,
appears
after I
to
shot a
be-
doctor and shelled a church, they've quietened down a little bit.
Have you considered not doing
No.
I mean, if it's quieting them down, it seems like the right thing to do.
That's because they're dead.
They weren't jumping up and down shouting about the law after the shells hit. There you go,
Have
I
you
passed
ever-
it. We have private schools.
Have you considered that it may have been because, like, you took out their leadership? I mean,
All
A,
I'm learning
a surgical
here is-
strike. Yes.
I'm quite happy for you to be a dictator. That's, I mean.
Oh, thanks for
that's
adding the
key.
tater.
But- I was just about to say, I'm just adding on a couple of letters on the end there. But I'm still lacking. I need tools. And I've got fertilizer and soil. Oh, right, I need to import fertilizer, I think.
If you have, let me check for you. Buildings, Santiago. Okay, yeah. You are getting a tiny bit of fertilizer from your livestock, but relying on the food farms is not efficient large term.
I learned diplomacy from Nomadic Jam, Jarek. So
Apparently,
if you
the
just
British
come over
Army
here
is
and
my
run
best
towards
option.
that wall, I can shoot you in the back. Sorry,
Oh,
see your point of view.
What was it,
So-
Les?
So does it matter who I import from? Because obviously, like Russ said earlier, productivity means nothing, really.
Yeah, in the grand scheme, it doesn't really mean a lot. It only means something if you're trying to super micromanage. So the answer, not really.
Right, so I've got it coming in from the British. Because they're... 38.1% of my pops is below minimum expected standard of living.
That's
Importing it
actually
from-
quite low compared to some.
Importing it from the importing fertilizer from the British. Well, I hear that London is full of crap.
Who's breathing into their mic?
It'll be our local Dutch Vader.
The sensitivity really is whack. I turned it down a moment ago, and I'm barely breathing.
Still very loud.
But I'm currently beating the Chinese, which sounds really impressive, but they cannot get their several 100,000 troops over to me because they don't have any boats.
Oh, are you taking over Lanfang or something?
Brunei.
That works too. Also, I'm sorry. Now that you're a player, I have to tell you that I'm kicking you out of our market in terms of the Dutch sugar. It shall be Portuguese sugar instead.
Okay.
The
I mean,
market-
your guys' market?
The Dutch are exporting sugar to the Swedish market and
Ah.
building all of that sugar up.
It does sound like a hurricane in the background here. Someone just breathing.
I mean,
Very
considering that we've actually got a storm going on, like, the wind is quieter compared to you, Holland. Just gonna turn you down in Discord as well.
I have
Well,
a,
push the
Thought
talk
seems like the
now.
solution. Yep, there we go.
I have a very important question. Can I change the flag of my nation or rename my nation in any way? Or are you just stuck with what you go?
You're stuck with what you get. It changes your flag depending on laws and like basically your laws and government. For example,
Right.
Russia will change to the Soviet Union if they do the right thing.
Ah, okay.
Amusingly, America can change into several different things, but they all abbreviate to USA.
Oh, okay.
Like, I
Something,
think if
something
they,
of something.
Oh,
I think if they shift back to an American monarchy, it's like the United Sovereign Archduchy.
right. My enactment of National Guard has moved to voting now.
Yeah.
Well, landowners are loyal at the moment, so yeah, no, I'm good.
It's interesting that Tibet is part of the British Empire, it seems. I
Yeah,
think that
they,
happened. The AI did that. It's not a
yeah,
historical
they
thing,
did.
is it?
They took Tibet in the Opium Wars.
Oh, right.
On top of taking Hong Kong, they also said, "Give us Tibet."
Right, so I'm losing bureaucracy. You said that's a bad thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So mine is minus 8.24. How
Show off.
severe is it before it becomes a problem?
If you
Depends
mouse
on,
over
like-
up top, it'll say how much taxes you're losing, and once you pass National Guard, you'll lose even more bureaucracy. So you'll probably want to build a government administration to fix that.
Well, apparently people want me to do homesteading next.
Ah, even better. That reduces the power of the landowners, and it's not something that takes bureaucracy. A lot of the things you passed basically found institutions in your country, and those take bureaucracy.
Okay.
National Guard is one of them.
I've got logging camps being finished in 6 weeks. It probably doesn't help that I'm running in debt because apparently my debt is a problem. Tax waste.
Yeah, you'll have more tax waste the lack of bureaucracy you have.
But apparently if I got rid of one of my trade routes, I would be... Apparently I'm actually importing man of wars. Twice. From the French and the British. I'm playing both sides there, aren't I?
If you want to fix your economy, lads, just disband any navy you've got. That usually costs a fortune.
Sounds like
Yeah,
a
it's-
terrible idea. Can I not
Boats
just
are
reduce
fairly
the cost of my army?
Yes,
Yeah.
by getting rid of some of them.
expensive. This isn't quite like one of those games where you get where standing army is as important. As Chile, the only people you have to worry about are your neighbors. And you already have a weaker army than Peru, Bolivia. So,
Where's Peru? Oh, yeah, above me. Well,
However,
Chaos
they're
has appeared.
absolutely happy with me. They're like plus 500 attitude. So,
yeah, so they're not gonna fight you at all. So,
how,
wouldn't say
can I
how.
can I mothball this fleet, or do I need to what? What do I need to do? With it?
There isn't really a mothball. There is a delete the dockyards. The
What, I have to
quote-un-
delete the dockyards.
Yeah. The quote-unquote mothball is in the budget tab where you lower military wages, but you're also lowering the wages of people that live in your country. So technically, lowering military wages lowers your standard of living because you're paying your soldiers less.
Hello, Chaos.
Chaos is.
Fury typing.
Like a jerk typing in the exact moment I wasn't expecting to get brought into the room so fast.
I guess I haven't actually spoken to you for a while. We've been
Hey, how's it going,
different
Daft?
business schedules,
Well,
not too bad.
I've got the entirety of this coming 7-day period off.
Oh, excellent.
I'm taking
Maybe
a long
we'll-
break after 16 straight days of 12+ hours. I
Oh, no, that's
earned
fine.
myself
Okay,
a week to be bump on the log.
Sounds like it, yeah.
After
I-
studying bumps on the log for 12 hours a day.
I was in fact studying log bumps, yes.
Yes, let us.
So, if,
Yeah.
are you
The
being serious?
malacology.
Are you being serious about disbanding the navy? Do I actually need it or not?
You don't need it.
So it's actually pretty quick to rebuild a navy, confusingly enough, because basically, all military buildings like barracks and dockyards rebuild quite quickly.
They rebuild
So-
quickly. Actually, hiring people in them takes a little bit long.
Although if there's people with qualifications, they actually hire in pretty quickly, depending on what your mobilization tech is.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah, well,
let's see.
Le-
Who do I want
Les-
to be?
Laz is Chile, so he doesn't really need that too
Okay.
much. And your United Tribes is still over there,
I see
existing.
they're over there. They were just. I found they were a little bit rough to play, but I could carry on with them in the moment until. Let's see. Is there anything else? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Victoria is starting to show one of its quirks again because I've occupied Brunei for quite a while now. They're just 100% occupied. They cannot do anything, and China is also still in the war, but they cannot do anything either because they don't have any boats.
Okay, the reason why is because they made Brunei a tributary. So the primary leader of the war is actually became China in the middle of it. You
Oof.
declared
Oh,
war
wait,
on
they
them.
they are their tributary.
Yeah, they probably made them their tributary mid-war. That is one of the quirks that I absolutely hate because it's ruined me a couple times before. Where I go to take over someone, a great power decides to side with them, and in the middle of that war, they like protectorate or tributary the minor nation. So that's why it's negative 100 with them, because they don't have the diplomacy ability to surrender, because now the primary diplomacy part is part of China. Or you got it anyway.
I might have switched to China to have them surrender.
Oh no, that game just crashed.
Well, that was quick.
10 days and I find out if my new law is accepted. It says, the breakdown says success 58%, advance 41%, debate and stall are 0, so I'm assuming it should pass.
Yeah, advance means it will just have a positive increase.
Okay, right, so it's effectively just click and leave alone sort of
Yeah.
thing. Alright. But apparently I've got 286 individuals becoming radical every month until the movement succeeds for the homesteading. And I'm like, oh great.
It's okay. Once it actually passes, it'll make a lot of loyalists.
I can't do anything with it yet.
Oh.
I can't click on enact.
Yeah, once you pass homesteading, it will make a lot of loyalists.
Yeah, it says like homesteading will make 37k like really happy. So my authority's gone down to minus 34. What?
There's a few things that you spend authority on. If you mouse over it, what does the usage say?
Well, the total usage is minus 1,000, and this is due to minus 100 from collecting luxury consumption taxes on luxury clothes, liquor, tobacco, and wine.
And that's it?
And then you've got promote social mobility, greener grass campaign. How do I stop these campaigns? They're killing me on that.
What's the button for that? Political lens on the bottom, and then decrees. And then you just select the decree and remove it from the area.
So social mobility. No, I'm quite happy for social mobility. Right, get rid of. How do I get rid of it? Right click, cancel. There we go. That gives me positive, at least.
Yeah.
Happy for the others, but not. I don't want to drop too far down on authority.
Yeah, those decrees are helpful for a smaller nation like Chile. Obviously, if you're like Russia or France or something like that, that's not really that useful unless you're trying to build up a specific state.
Well, I've got my money to minus 296 now, so my debt spending has succeeded. So I've got 5 out of 5 gold mines. really want to use nitroglycerin, get more money in.
The only thing, personally, I know it's just a personal choice. I don't really use nitroglycerin because it increases the mortality rate of the people that work there.
Yeah, I saw that. I really want to lose machinists. They sound really useful. Labourers I'm not so bothered about. They're easily found.
I
Right?
usually
Right?
yeah, I usually save shifting that production method until I have dynamite, because that doesn't have the mortality debuff. But again, that's a personal choice.
Law
I
advanced
sorry.
enactment 15%.
Sorry, Liza, a quick question about Japan. Is it worth me building universities at this point, or is that getting too far ahead of you?
Yes, Okay, so this is something else I can cover for both of you. Up on the top, there is your literacy. If you mouse over the literacy, it will say this results in an innovation cap of X amount. We are currently using X amount each week, uncapped. The innovation that, by default, with no universities, you produce 50 innovation, and every university you make makes more innovation, and the more innovation you have, the faster you research, but it takes government money to pay the university workers.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Additionally, there is a measure of universities increasing the literacy amount over time, but that's still very slow until you get the actual literacy laws of like putting the children in schools.
That makes sense. Oh, actually, I already do have a university. At least one I found running. Okay, so it sounds like it would be a reasonable thing to build a few more.
Yeah, like if you have the money and you want to focus on research, always try to build up to your innovation cap. Not all nations have the economy to do that.
Yeah.
Portugal, for example, I don't have the economy to do that. It's because I'm still on lit. What am I going to need to get off of that? Once I get dedicated police force, okay. That's going to give me a lot of money.
I'm now up to 60 construction. I think I was on like 20 before, wasn't I? So I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, you want to be careful though, Daft. It's a bit of a noob trap. Because like you think, oh, I just want to build fast and I'll spam construction. And then once you've run out of stuff to build, you're still stuck paying the costs.
Right.
Technically,
The nice thing is that you can really downscale your construction.
No,
easily
you never
because
stop
constructions
building.
are just cheap.
yeah, you
True.
can easily downscale it because it's cheap to build, but you should never run out of things to construct, because as you increase the standard of living, your people are going to want more. Like, it's
Plus,
an
Japan has got a lot of people.
yeah,
Oh no,
but like for
realism's starting to spread in Chile.
oh, no. But like for Laz, for example, you're never going to fully make staple goods super duper cheap unless you're imbalanced on them. Because once everyone has enough, they're going to have enough money to want more, kind of thing.
No, that's understandable, but I need to bring my standard of living up because I've got 45.1k radicals happening, and that is from standard of living mainly. 33.7 is from decreases in standard of living.
Yeah, and the best way you're going to do that once you get your industry settled is a little bit of grain, and then getting a couple furniture and clothing factories. But
Other easy ways include lowering your taxes, or better yet, changing your tax laws, because the early tax laws really penalise the poor because it's a flat rate which they just can't really afford.
Right, so I've just finished a construction sector. So that means that I can only still build one building at a time? Or is it just it's being built quicker?
It's being built quicker. There's an upper limit to how much a building can be constructed, and then it will overflow the construction to another building.
Right. So it is still worthwhile building construction center sectors. It's just because they can pull more resources.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I'm actually getting money in now. I've got 40.5 coming in. Must be the extra gold
Honestly,
mine.
What shocks me the most is that Flanker's like still full on money, and he seems to be doing well. It's really weird.
Even with that revolution.
Well, the revolution's gone because he nuked all of the priests so that way he could throw all the kids in schools.
If you are talking of revolution, you are no longer part of the church. Well, some of them are literally part of the church now. And the church is rubble.
Will never come off the walls. Why is it my colony is once again not really moved much?
If no one shelled, why speak against King?
Oh. Well, there's a problem for you, Laz. The native uprising has happened for Argentina. So, it's temporarily stopped you colonizing as the natives go to try and punch the Argentines.
Yeah, but I mean, I had two like icons. One is, so I've got an establishing Chilean colony in Chilean Agrocania, which is south of me, and then I had another one in Petrolucci, which failed one time, and then I restarted it, and it's not done anything still.
It's actually taken a couple tiles, but where it was
Is that what that little dotted line is? Because there's a really small dotted line that seems to be pushing in.
Maybe? I don't know what you mean by dotted line.
So I can't really show you. If I zoom in, I'll take a screenshot quick and I'll send it to you in Grand Strat.
So this new prediction screen, like how reliable is it?
Pretty reliable.
So if it says nobody, they're not likely to pick a side. But if it says a country, it's likely to pick that.
Well, you look at their pluses and minuses for each side.
Right, and if they're positive, then. Like, for example, I'm looking at one of my neighbors, and the Ottomans have plus 24 on them, and minus 103 on me. But there's a prediction that is empty, because, well, they're Ottomans, and what do they care about, like, miners in Europe?
Ottomans don't care a lot about miners in Europe. They are a miner in Europe. But a bunch.
I saw Prussia declare war on Denmark. I'm like, oh, are they going for Holstein? No, they're going to go take Jutland and Holstein.
Right, I've got my National Guard. But apparently that's cost me money.
That's cost you bureaucracy, which is probably costing you money because you're probably negative on it.
Yep. Minus 18.2.
Yep, so that's like 1, maybe 2 government administrations.
So, states that are fully integrated with a country, pops in incorporated states, pay taxes, gain access to beneficial institutions. So that, I'm losing 59 from 982k people in two incorporated states. Is that possible to get rid of at all, or is it something I just have to...
In the 2 unincorporated states, I think that's probably the colony you started in Patagonia and Araucania.
Right, so...
Those are not incorporated because they're still being colonized.
Okay, right. So this military leader, can I get rid of him because that's another 10 that I'm losing? So this admiral.
Yeah.
How do I get rid of him?
There's one of those moments where I need to look at the button myself. If you click on him, there should be, when you bring up his overview, there should be a button to.
There has just
Oh.
been a desync.
Everybody.
Okay.
Wait, yeah. I was like, not me. Wait, no. Yes, me.
All right.
It's match found
So
in military formations.
Quickly relaunch game.
do we?
I'm going to take this opportunity to disable my VPN.
Is it recommended to relaunch the whole game here?
You don't have to. But I just do it because I can do it pretty quickly on my computer. So.
Well, I think this is installed in SSD, so let's see how long this takes.
All right. Well, I've saved it, so I will
Laz broke the game when he tried to
boot it as well because
disband
it'll only
that
take a few
admiral.
seconds.
I literally clicked his face, and then all of a sudden the game crashed. So.
Yeah, well, and it's all the like I opened up the ledger and I'm like, ooh, was that what crashed it?
Numbers crash my brain too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Computers can only do math as well as humans, after all.
I think they do it a little bit better than us.
What?
No, that's just AI propaganda.
Hey, I prefer my AI over Lords. Probably give me better standard of living. I mean,
Probably.
have you heard about Brussels? Can't even have
I'm
a
not sure what
revolution in
Sprouts have
peace
to do
there.
with this.
I'd like to point out that everyone alive in Brussels is pretty happy that the revolution didn't happen. And everyone that's dead is dead, so...
Yeah.
They're even
That's an
more
excellent
happy because
point.
they have to live under flanker.
That's a powerful argument for mass execution of dissidents.
I mean,
love some
it
mass
wasn't a
execution.
mass execution. I executed them while they were at mass. There's a difference.
Right.
Dear.
Look, if the
That's
Catholic
pretty
Church
clever.
want to get into
Politics.
politics, then
They're gonna suffer some consequences.
they are indeed.
That logic sounds completely undeniable to me.
Look, it's just like the old saying: if you can't leave it, love it.
And yes, Dead Zeta did crash. Oh, rather, it went out of sync.
And by
For
it,
everyone.
I refer to life, and by it in the second bit, I refer to the state.
And look, if they're right about all the things, they won't have to worry about very much at all. There's an afterlife. There's apparently a lot better. And there, they won't have a king shelling them for being disobedient.
Dead Zeta, Dead
That is
Zeta.
the
Now would be a good time to
standard
join.
method for responding to. Here we go.
Are you? Is Russ suggesting Dead Sea joining as Denmark? Hang on.
Ooh, I
Dead
wouldn't
Sea
do
does
that
seem to
now.
really
Denmark's
like
in trouble.
Denmark.
Yeah, it'd be the perfect time to do it now because ensure that Denmark dies.
Dead Zeta, if you subscribe to Humble Bundle, it's included in this month's package.
So I did get my copy from the Lovely Fire. So Fire got it from someone. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh,
Fire knows.
yeah.
Okay, can you copy text correctly?
No.
No. Sorry, computer's only good at maths, not words.
Yeah.
Until you ask it to do some maths, and then it's only good at words.
Try and get it to do both. Excel documents for the win.
Oh yeah, that works out so well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look at Sherlock.
That's-
He's fun.
Suddenly it tries to turn everything into a date and whatnot.
Did you mean the 1st of January, 1980?
Yeah, my favorite thing with computers being clever is when they try to be helpful and interpret a series of numbers as a date and then edit a 15,000 line Excel document.
Wow.
Exactly. I would say Excel
Especially when
sucks,
it
but
interprets. I was working with a program that produced the most cursed. It was done in the order year, day, month. I don't think there's any country on Earth that does year, day, month as the standard order. Like, I can understand some people doing month, day, year because that's how they say it in English. So it's like it's at least the spoken order, even though it's better to do day, month, year, or year, month, day. But this thing was doing it in such a weird order that when I put it into Excel, it took every single day before the 12th of each month and interpreted the day as a month and the month as a day, and then completely destroyed the whole data set.
But fortunately, you had backups, right?
Well, what I actually did was I created a function to just put in all of the dates, and then created a new column and manually generated the dates from that.
That sounds like a lot of effort. I would have just left it for someone else to fix.
It would have been nice to leave it to someone else to fix, but it was my report. Inconsiderately enough, my employer expected me to, like, do work. I don't quite
Tell them
understand
they're being
how that...
unreasonable.
Yeah, I know, that was, you know... I don't get it myself. Alright, I'm ready to continue banging my head against the wall of the United Tribes and seeing what I can do about these whole New South Welsh people.
Yeah, you're only like 300k short of potentially annexing the next person over there.
Well, I think my strategy is I'm gonna have to go after Tasmania first. So my plan is I'm going to form like the Australasian nation and then release the Australian bits of it.
How likely is your like commanders to die? Because
Not
my
very likely.
my
It's pretty much
admiral is
old age.
71-year-old man.
I mean, yeah, he's got a reasonable chance of dying at this point, but you know, I've seen them live up to 80.
Oh, I don't think I could set 9 years of bureaucracy being minus 18.
Is everyone back in?
I think so.
Yep.
I'm in. And I've also closed off everything else, so my computer is just humming away, nice and happy.
And like I said, Laz, just build another government administration, and it'll cover it.
Yeah, I will do after I retire this commando, just to...
Are we good to go, Flanker?
Yep.
What?
I had a
Is
question
that
about.
Flanker getting involved?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
I mute myself. Sorry, I had a quick question about Navy stuff. I wanted to see if I could build a Navy. I know you said it was not really necessary at this point.
So
But,
buildings develop. Yeah.
I was just saying that
Buildings development naval base.
I had no, what do you call it? No valid places from which to. I could create the Navy itself as an organization, but I had no valid places to build ships from.
Really?
I think I had a shortage of frigates and men-at-arms. No, sorry,
yeah.
men-at-arms. But I can't.
Men-at-Wars.
They don't exist as things on the market, as far as I can
So
tell,
that means you need to build military shipyards to produce the goods, and then we just lost Lazars.
Okay.
Do we just wait for you to rejoin, Laz?
I think so. Yeah.
And then my game disagreed with that so much it just straight up closed. Like instantaneous crash to desktop.
It has strong solidarity with Lazarus.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Jesus, I go.
I'm afraid because you told me to sack that admiral, and I have. The game's just like, no, hobo, out you go.
Excuse me, sir.
Like I saw the crash report for half a second. Okay, yeah, sure.
Things were going so well.
But yes, Daft. Things will not pop up in your market as options until there is a demand for it, or you create the good.
So this is
Also,
like the
if I'm
chicken
to
and egg
check your
situation. Right?
laws, if I'm to check your laws, I just need to see if
Just keep in
Really?
mind we're paused, so don't make any changes yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is like, sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. I couldn't build ships because I don't have the men-at-arms of the frigates. Men-at-arms and frigates don't exist as goods because there's no demand for them. I'm guessing there's no demand for them because I'm not trying to build any military units. So you see what I'm saying? It's like I don't. It can't be
You-
psychological, right? There must be something I'm missing here.
you also, I believe, have a closed economy at this point.
He's
So
actually-
don't do any
It's-
work. Excellent.
It's
No, he's
it's-
actually
yeah.
have protectionism.
Oh, he has protectionism. Okay, so you can start a trade route if you have some convoys and have some bureaucracy to spare. You can start a trade route and start importing the necessary goods for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Though I don't see like frigates or men-at-arms as a good.
As
throw,
soon
throw a
as-
stream
as-
staff.
As soon
right.
as you build naval bases, there will be a demand for them.
So like I've got artillery here and ammunition, clippers, which are the trade ones, I imagine. But yeah, there's. So what I was seeing when I went to military, navy, create a fleet, sure, and then like I couldn't build any frigates or man of war. Sorry, I keep saying men at arms. That's a whole different thing.
I understand what you mean.
There's no available regions where I can build anything. So I need to build military shipyards, you're saying? And I can't just import the
yes.
ships. It's not going to let me
If
just import
you-
ships.
So your military shipyards will be profitable if you are consuming their goods from your with your shipyard with your military. What am I calling it? With your naval bases. So naval bases are going to consume a steady amount of goods, which will create demand, which will make the business profitable.
Okay. And sorry, skipping ahead to a different question. Sorry. I had a iron shortage earlier, so I started importing loads of iron. Although I don't quite understand because there's no longer a shortage, but I must have a surplus of iron now. But I still seem to be making a profit from the imports and whatnot. So I don't quite understand how that works.
Oh, well, it's because you're importing it at a cheaper price than you can produce it domestically, so you're still making a profit off of your imports.
Okay.
So if you click on the market board, F4, and click on your trade routes, you can see the revenue from each of them. And you can see that some trade routes will be higher or lower value. And some will be actually negative value, but sometimes it's actually worth it to have negative value trade routes if they're providing goods at below market rates that are useful for the well-being of your people. So if you're making groceries cheaper, or if you're making some luxuries cheaper, then sometimes it's actually worth it to import things to lower the price in your market so that people are paying less, which will mean that they spend less of their money on their goods, which means that they can buy more of those goods, which means that they become happier, their standard of living gets higher, and they become more loyal, more happy, more likely to support your government.
The trade routes will also try and scale themselves to remain profitable.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll scale themselves up until all your convoys are spent, and then you need to build more ports to get more convoys.
So I'm importing loads of iron from Sweden right now. It still seems to be profitable, so I assume there's nothing to worry about here.
It makes sense because
strongly recommend Swedish market iron. It's some of the best in the world.
Yeah,
oh yes,
so would
Russ
I.
told me just the same thing a little while ago.
Yep. And would I like you?
Okay, sorry. Yes. Yeah, so I realise it's not necessarily Sweden itself. It's the Swedish market, which
Hobo's lagging behind something fierce.
I'm joining the game.
Yeah, Hobo is in the process of joining the game.
And he's out of sync.
Oh no!
Would that be because we were running ahead?
While we were unpaused?
It is now paused.
When I joined, it continued just fine.
Hang on.
Yeah, when
Because you didn't have any history or anything to sync up.
So yeah, let's stay paused and not do anything.
Yep. Also, Laz, how could you?
Look,
Wait,
not my
yeah.
fault. He told me to get rid of the admiral.
Laz joined in too.
Looks like we're all in now.
Okay.
About what?
Well, yeah, because
We're not all in.
My mistake.
I had to wait to actually finish connecting to the game.
To be able to crash properly.
Yeah.
If you look over your shoulder and see Laz, he's helping your AI overlords.
Why is it that everyone else except me was able to join while it was running?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Usually
Right,
I
so
keep the game paused while someone's doing it.
While we're paused, I've got a building that's subsidised, and it's 710 a week.
Yeah.
So the wage subsidies required is 476. Wages required to maintain full employment 1,034. Trade centre capacity to pay is 558. So input goods subsidy required 234. So if I stop subsidising them, what will happen?
It will lose money and stop employing people until it loses function to the point where the goods that it's producing become in enough demand to go into equilibrium.
Which, since it is your trade center, if there's not enough people working the trade center, it will lower the size of the trade routes that you're doing and start kind of spiraling that. So you kind of always want your trade centers to be.
There are certain things that are worth subsidizing, like infrastructure, such as that and railroads often.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is helpful to subsidize other things sometimes. For example, with the Swedish market, I am subsidizing sugar to make sure that it becomes cheaper than the imported sugar, which is slowly lowering the price of slowly lowering the import size of the imported sugar, so that way only domestic sugar. But for example, if your grain was so cheap that they couldn't fully hire, you could subsidize grain to force it down cheaper.
Sorry, Hobo. I just need to say I need to go AFK for I don't know how long. So if I drop, just carry on without me.
Okay.
How dare you, overlord of our market?
I hate the fact that my lower strata is 0.1.
Just checking you're not clicking stuff while we've got a player joining, Laz.
No, I'm not. I'm not building anything. I'm just
not
looking
even-
at things.
I'm
Is
not
that,
even.
is that okay?
Looking at it's good.
I'm still reinitializing the game because Victoria loads really slowly, even when I have it on an SSD.
Because I'm just trying to figure out how to stop this radicalization because they're really upset by the standard of living, and it is going up sharp.
The only other thing that you could do is check what level your taxes are at.
It's high. I know that. I know that's high. I can't bring it down because otherwise I'll be tanking my cash coming in too. But that's probably because I'm building stuff at the same time. So I'm trying to build coal mines because I want to get rid of my import of coal from the French. Probably don't need that government administration. I'm at 11.
Okay, clicking on a flanker, putting in a password, clicking the submit button, and there we go. Loading into the game. I do hope by the time EU5 comes out, they do at least a little bit with their stability on their connectivity. because it looked like from screenshots from Project Caesar, which is just a U5, that it's going to be using the same UI infrastructure, like down to the same exact menu style of Crusader Kings.
I mean, to be fair, that's just UI though.
Yeah.
That's a design language. That's not necessarily the infrastructure that's being used.
Well, obviously they're still using the same basis of their engine that they have been for the past few games. So. But like just from the screenshots, you can tell that it's going to be that, and it's not like a new iteration, new massive iteration of their engine like it was from EU4 to Crusader Kings, or EU4 to Stellaris. Ugh. Me no word good. Okay, I'm in. I've clicked my nation. I am here. Now stop miscounting the amount of soldiers you have in your army, lads.
Well, apparently my people should be more happy because now all of a sudden it's gone. They're at 7.5 of the minimum of 6. Stop radicalizing, you bunch of buttholes.
I'll rehost.
That's found AI
Sounds like a plan.
combat units, military formation. Oh, we had a good run for about an hour or so.
And then I ruined it.
Well, I mean, wasn't you in particular, I would say. Yes.
I'm just going to blame Hobo because
we had a Holland joining as well.
Dirty old hobo.
And Holland's the one who actually went to war with someone.
Yeah, you guys could just keep playing while I joined, and then I selected the country, and everything just kept working fine. But since I haven't done much yet, and there's only like 10 minutes left, I will just watch the stream for now.
I guess there is only 10 minutes left. Because we only play this for 2 hours normally, don't we?
Yes.
Want to do a rehost with only 10 minutes left?
I won't then.
Well,
I
asking in general.
I was literally doing it, so the answer was yes. But if people don't want to do it, that is a-okay.
Oh, I totally want to do it. We'll play until the time limit. And I think I'm going to be available next weekend, so I can actually show up on time and such.
Awesome.
On account of that whole taking a week off thing.
whereas I'm just happy for whatever.
Well, I mean, I haven't really been around for the last year.
That's all right. You're back.
Yeah. Well, I've been able to pop into a handful of streams now and then.
Apparently I typed in the incorrect password.
Yep,
What's the password now?
Password's the same. I didn't realise I was looking at the wrong server ID, and I think my game's just going to lag out, and it's not going to do anything. I'm going to have to force close it.
Hang on for a second. I'll rehost it again. It's fine.
No, and it's not your fault, Funker. It's me being silly, and I don't think that would help either. Because it's trying to connect to a game that no longer exists, but I've had this issue before for the Paradox games, or it, Crusader Kings was the same, where it would just try and keep connecting for half an hour or something ridiculous.
When there is nothing to connect to.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I didn't see on the.
No worries. To be
Discord
fair,
that-
that's to stop people from just aggressively trying to try every password in the book.
Yeah.
It's actually a security feature. If you get the password wrong, it won't tell you. Please don't join yet. There we go. It is up. The lobby is up. The server ID is updating in Discord now. There we go. That's Hobo connecting. And lads. Alright, Vi. Thanks for the games. I can see you connecting now, Daft.
Awesome, thank you.
Has anyone else noticed that in this game, when you put the password in, it doesn't star it out or anything?
Yep.
Do we have anyone here who plays Victoria 3 multiplayer regularly?
Yes, I play it on a weekly basis.
Does it tend to be this unstable often?
Usually it's unstable when one person's running a computer that is struggling to keep up. So it's not so much that a large group makes it unstable, it's that a large group increases the odds that there's going to be someone's computer who's having trouble keeping up with things. And
makes sense.
I'm not entirely sure about the desyncs. I play with a group of 5 people, and we might have 1 or 2 desyncs over the course of a 3 or 4 hour session. But usually once it stabilizes, it goes stable, and it seems like that's what was happening here. Like, you sound like you had an hour where everything was going totally stable, and then had a couple of issues pop in later on.
Yeah, we were fine until we'd had a few joins, I believe.
Yeah, hence why I asked, because if things are stable, I completely understand saying, hey, we're just going to keep it as it is.
But on the other hand, there were so few of us, it was like worth the risk.
Alright, I am in.
Yep, just waiting for Daft to select his country,
Me
and
too.
then we're ready to rock and roll.
Cool. Not pressing anything.
Thank you.
And we're underway.
Alright.
I seem to have been really lucky this game. I keep getting like good laws early on. I'm getting public schools already. I've done nothing to try and promote that.
I really need infrastructure. Christ.
Yeah, railways are great. Laz, what religious party do you have? Is it Catholic Church or?
Let me have a look.
He is Catholic, so it should be Catholic Church.
I do have Catholic Church, but apparently I do have some animists in as well.
If you look on the Catholic Church's bonus thing is, I think they do babies, don't they?
Yeah, but plus 2% birth rate.
Because I have the Church of Sweden and they do plus 10% infrastructure. Oh no, that's the rural folk actually. But yeah, it's worth checking your parties to see what bonuses they give. Because like I say, one of mine does infrastructure.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's the same for everyone. Infrastructure is high rural folk.
Oh yeah, that might be one of the common ones then.
So one of my areas, agriculture, is only livestock branches. Nothing else. Okay.
Yeah, some areas just can only produce certain things.
Also, some
Or
areas get big bonuses. Like if you click on one of the provinces, on the overview with the pretty picture, you might see a little icon.
What overview is that?
Bonuses.
Oh, right, yeah. Peril, central, agricultural, throughput, 15%, plantations, 15%.
Yeah, like Sweden gets a lot of iron mine production bonuses and such.
To be fair, everywhere for me is agricultural plus 15%.
Oh, your colony
except the south.
Oh, we're underway, by the way.
The south has got nothing specific to it.
Oh, the south has the Andes Mountains, which lowers
I
your
go to South Pole Rise
infrastructure
again.
and construction.
Whole area's got that.
So, Prussia and France are going to just basically remove Denmark from the mainland.
Denmark getting beaten up by France makes so little sense. Alright, France and Denmark, kind of in this geopolitics, it never makes sense for France to want Denmark to be weaker.
It makes even less sense for France to side with Prussia.
Yes, like helping Prussia to unite with Germany is a
Yeah, it's kind of
concerning
annoying for
move, I would
me
say.
because I want to unite Scandinavia and I need some of those territories to do it.
I don't really see why I've got a consumption tax on liquor, because it's literally 0.12.
I'm going to say it makes you a lot of money, but
it really, really does not.
no.
I'm just
But for
gonna.
bigger countries, it does. It's a great source of income.
How do I get rid of that?
Right, if you'll stop licking badges, then we'll stop getting consumption.
Right, there we go. I mean, it's brought my minus debt up a little bit. I'm at now -9.4. But I am building stuff. And that has just got rid of one of the things that people dislike. So
Yeah, I mean, consumption taxes do harm standard
yeah,
of living a
my
little
authority
bit,
just went
but-
from 66 to 166. So
the only thing positive authority actually does is faster law enactment time.
oh, speaking of which, I haven't actually got anything going for that at the moment.
Oh, having a positive bureaucracy is good because that increases your production speed.
Yeah, it increases your...
Sorry, construction speed, not production speed.
Which is nice, it's just... I don't know if the amount of money you spend on that is worth the 10% construction unless you're like a
Yeah,
really
probably
large
not.
agency.
But it's something if you can get it by maybe just reducing trade routes or something, it's worth doing. Also, something important to know about this game is you always use one unit to make one unit sort of thing. not like Kingdoms Reborn where you can have buildings turn 1 log into 10 charcoal. So when you increase buildings throughput, you take in the same amount extra resources as well.
Population's slowly growing. Yeah, this will be an interesting challenge.
Really? The industrialists want a healthcare system, or they don't? Yeah.
Normally,
The industrialists in my area have 11.8% saying like, yeah, we want this.
but what type of
It's
healthcare system?
Well, I can't select anything else. It just says no healthcare system.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
They
no,
want-
I'm reading it differently.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be,
Yeah. They want no healthcare. Sometimes they'll actually want private healthcare, though. Like mine want private healthcare, but
Well,
private
any form
healthcare.
of healthcare system is better than none.
Yeah,
If they want private healthcare, you can sometimes game it to get public healthcare really early.
Yeah. I just don't prefer to do public healthcare that much because it's only useful for the upper strata, which, if you're a poor nation, you don't really have a lot of.
Do you mean private healthcare?
Yeah.
We could probably try bumping up to speed 2.
Yeah, we can't stay on speed 1 long term. We'll die of old age before we get anywhere.
Well, staying on speed 1 long term is a way to do a real-time simulation of the Victorian era.
Yeah.
You can actually simulate the passage of each day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning.
I would like to point out, the United Tribes has the highest standard of living in the world.
Thank you.
That's embarrassing. Oh dear.
You know what? Maybe we should have gone for the dying old age thing. Although
Yep.
it is actually 4 minutes after, so
Maybe.
It's mismatch in military formations again.
Maybe next week we start a new game with everyone to see if that's more stable. I'm not even memeing because we've had a lot of new players and this has become very unstable.
I don't think that's how it works.
Look, honestly, I feel like Victoria 3 is a game that I could probably get into playing, but I will have to play it with people because it's not a game I'll play by myself because it feels like I'm going to ask questions and no one's going to answer them, and I'll be like,
Well, that's how I got into Crusader Kings, is through multiplayer, since I
Yeah.
can ask questions
Same.
to people.
I played CK3 on my own, and I was just like, well, this is all well and good, but it's difficult to start with, maybe, but when you get big, and it's kind of like ruffle stomp. But when you're
I
playing
was
with other
actually
people,
thinking earlier on about doing another multiplayer game of this later this week, so I actually play it because otherwise I'll never get around to it.
what, Vicky 3 or?
Yeah.
Hi guys,
Victoria
I was AFK for a moment there getting a drink, and it looks like we're calling it here. Is that another decent?
Yeah.
I think
we're gonna have
this is
another
4
game
minutes
this week,
after
though,
the
Dad.
normal finishing time, is it not?
Yeah.
Yes, it
believe so,
is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose that would be a decent marker point to say so one trick that I found that works for persistent desyncs is playing the game forward a month in the absence of the people who desync, because that will often cause the modifier that caused the desync to get resolved by the AI, and then you can pick up again.
Yeah, we
And
try
Victoria
that with
is generally
CK3
not a
sometimes.
game where the AI will completely destroy your whole nation in 30 seconds when you leave, unlike, theoretically speaking, a certain game in outer space where all of your, accepted, alien pops within your area suddenly become slaves or something like that.
Yeah.
Before everyone leaves, if you're interested in more Victoria 3, make sure you've got the role, because I'm going to be pinging it either later today or tomorrow to arrange another game.
Absolutely. If I happen to be around and available, not doing something, I'd be happy to join it.
I'll join it now before I forget, because I will forget.
I think I have the Victoria role. I'll double check that. Yes, I do. I like the little factory, the little candy cane factory.
I thought you'd appreciate it.
I do. I very much do.
A what?
Like, we appreciate everything you do.
The factory has white and yellow striped smokestacks, hence the candy cane factory.
Right, I'm going to jump off, but keep an eye out for me arranging another game.
I will keep an eye out for that.
Any preferences on when we will play? Anyone?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Well, I'm just going to say. So for me, like Thursday is CK3. Friday is like Arma. Usually Monday and Tuesday there's sort of community games. So Wednesday.
We're actually sort of running out of days, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wednesday also has at least a Crusader Kings game in it, but
that's early day though, isn't it?